Yo YouTube, what's going on? Stay Humble White back at it again with another vlog. Today I'm doing something different. Today I'm doing brake jobs on the Honda Accord. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a brake job. So what you need to do, jack the car up, take off the front tire, and we'll go from there. So being that I'm changing the brakes and the rotors, I'm going to take out this screw here, and the same thing for down here, the big bottom one. Take these tubes out so I could take this whole caliper setter off, then loosen up these screws right here, 1 and 2, and then this comes off, the rotor. So I'm gonna get to it. Once I get all that taken out, we'll go from there. All right YouTube, I got the two 14mm screws off of the caliper. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the caliper. This is the caliper right here. Now what I have to do is take off the pads, push this piston back in, take this the caliper bracket off, and the rotor's gonna come right out. All right YouTube, so as you can see, I got everything taken apart. That's the old rotor, the old brake pads. Right here I have the new rotor. I'm gonna put it right back on. I'm gonna push the piston back and we'll go from there. All right, so I got the rotor put on. What I'm gonna do now is push the piston back. The way I do that, I use the old brake pad. I use one of these right here, put the brake pad right there, open this up a little bit to the diameter of the open piston. Oh man, I hope this tool works. Yeah. All right, so I open it up. Oof, this one might have to get opened up all the way. Open it up, and then I slowly push it back in so I can tighten.
I think it died.
No, it shuts off to save battery life. All right, you can pause it. All right YouTube, so I got everything just about done on this side. I got the rotor put on, tightened the 2 screws that hold the rotor back, put the caliper bracket back on. I tightened those 2 screws that hold this on. I pushed the piston in as you saw earlier. Now I'm gonna finish this up by tightening up the caliper, and this is all done. That's how you change brakes. Put the tire on and I'm all set. All right YouTube, we're back onto the passenger side. I'm gonna do the same shit. Took off these 2 screws, the rotor's ready to come out. Gonna loosen up these 2 screws so that I can get the caliper out, and then these last 2 screws, this one and this one, to take off the bracket, swap everything out, and the car's done. Brakes are done. All right, so I took the 2 screws out for the caliper. Caliper slides right out. Leave this bad boy right here because we got to push the piston in. So I'm gonna take a brake pad out, get that ready, and let me get my calipers, my piston tool. Oh, it's inside the toolbox, I forgot. Right here, open it up to the right size adjustment that you need. All right, we got it opened up. Now, if you look at this piston right here, you'll see that as I slowly push this in, it pushes the piston in. That's how you reset the piston size for brand new brake pads. Because as the brake pads worn out, this piston slowly comes out. That's what closes the brakes to tighten up and lock the car when you're driving. It makes the car stop. So when you put new brake pads, you got to push it all the way back in, because now you have fresh pads. They're not as thin as this, they're thicker. All right, so as you can see, I got the piston pushed back in. Right now, I'm putting the screws back to hold the rotor down. All right, so got the rotor in, tightening up the screw so that go the rotor in place. Let me put the other one in very fast. Now with these screws, you don't want to tighten them too much, because the next time you're going to go to change the brakes, you're going to regret that you tighten them that hard. So these, they just got to be nice and snug. Snug them up. Snug them up. Let's change the pads. So this goes here. That's in place right there. And always the pad with this pin goes into the back. For what reason? I don't know, but it's just how I always done it. I'm not going to change the rattle clips because they're still in good condition. In fact, they still have some anti-seize, so I'm going to leave those alone. All right, we got the pads in. Whoops. All right, so once you got the pads in place, you can put this back. So this is going to go like this, right here, right there. Squeeze the pads in so they're sitting correctly. We grab the 2 screws for that, which is your 2 17 millimeters. One goes back here. Got that, I think. All right, that one's in. We got this one in. Now I can tighten it with the ratchet real fast. Oh, oops. All right, that's snug. Do the same for this. Now these, you want to make sure that these are tight as possible. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to grab the piece from the jack and use it as some reinforcement. That's tight. That's tight. Once we got all this tightened up, make sure these open and close with no problem. Put this piece back on, and your brake job is complete. Just got to tighten these 2 screws and that's it. My ratchet. Oh. All right. These, you don't want them to be that tight because they actually snap, and if they snap, you're gonna have a problem. You'll have to get a whole caliper set. All right, that's snug. That's snug. And the brake job is complete. Now all we gotta do is put the tire back on and we're done. That's how you do brakes for the front on the 2017 Honda Accord. 13 Honda Accord.